He scored the only goal in the
Stanley.
against Sporting, and during trigger of those injured. Andy Johnson alongside the Andy. Brilliant atmosphere. Two really strong sides.
Yes, they are. Arsenal going to need to start this game really well, Steve. Ferocious atmosphere, as you say. They don't want to be encouraged too much tonight. The Atleti fans, so Arsenal know concentration, maximum, eliminate risks very early in this match. And got to make sure they don't give any encouragement and incentive to the home team early.
So Atleti in their red and white stripes, blue shorts. Arsenal in their chain strip of blue tops and white shorts. Our Dutch referee, hugely experienced, will get us underway. The Metropolitano falls into a hush of anticipation. We saw something quite extraordinary in the Parc des Princes last night. This is the first leg of the second of the Champions League semi-finals in 2026. And the first throw-in of the game goes the way of Atletico Madrid. Early touch for All Black, super reliable goalkeeper. Played away toward his near side, this control actually by Giuliano Simeone. And Giuliano Simeone is onto it very swiftly. Griezmann leaves it. Alvarez with a shot, which is blocked by Declan Rice.
Yeah, just lost his foot in there, didn't he, Piero Incapié? Very quickly, Simeone was away, and in the end, Declan Rice doing really well just to block that shot. Similar formations, but obviously with a bit of a tweak. Certainly, Atleti have Griezmann and Julian Alvarez down the middle, playing very much as a two white boys.
So experienced, approaching 800 games in charge of this football club over almost 15 years. Imagine 15 years in that high-pressure fishbowl.
Yeah, and the team players played pretty much the same way. Of course, the personnel would have changed a lot over that time, but they've always been difficult to break down, hard to beat, really rugged and tough. Always liable to go the distance.
Michele with the ball down the line to Lookman, who's been a real success since joining from Atalanta in January. He finds Koke, is intended for Lookman. Declan Rice sees it behind. Arsenal has themselves a goal kick. Defensively very strong, Arsenal. They've probably not scored as many goals of late as they would like.
I watched them against Newcastle at the Emirates in London at the weekend, and they won the game, but again it wasn't one of their finest performances as they chased the EFL crown, of course.
Atleti have actually been involved in some very high-scoring games in the Champions League this season, including a knockout playoff game against Club Brugge, which finished 7-4 in aggregate. They then beat North London's Tottenham 7-5 in aggregate in the quarter-final before seeing off Barcelona.
Yeah, just to stop before we get Gabriel there, under no pressure. Just here in Gabriel, they're just not on the same wavelength.
You're into with this throw-in. Good bit of finding. David Hanko has been troubled by an ankle injury of late. This is Ruggieri infield to Johnny Cardoso. And Cardoso with a little chip ball to find Lookman. How tough to settle that quickly in these big games.
Yeah, it is. Again, all the onus is always on the home team to really try and pick it up and drive the game. Arsenal just got to make sure they're really solid in their shape. When they lose possession, they recover really quickly. When they got it, they try and keep it.
Alvarez to Griezmann. Simeone Jr. Trying to just knock it in behind to Llorente. It's an interesting choice actually by Arteta to prefer Ben White to Mosquera at right back. Ben White hasn't played that much football over the course of this season. Here is Lippmann. Saliba with the block. Lucius. Gabriel Martinelli. There's no more there. Martinelli finding Nani Maguire. He's captain. Odegaard is captain in Madrid, of course, is very young player. And Arsenal really for the first time has got using possession inside the Atleti half of the field.
Yeah, and Atleti, everyone back behind the ball, pretty much apart from Alvarez.
The sight of the goal was actually obscured by his teammate.
It was, yeah. Nketiah is in absolute pole position here to go and finish this. Martinelli is trying to get it. It's a great run for him. Lovely work that Nani Madueke, getting right to the byline, standing the cross up. Watching Nketiah, that's dropping to it perfectly on that left foot. In the end, Martinelli probably just getting in his way, complicating issues, but that's good play.
Well, the first chance of the game goes Arsenal's way. Alvarez to Griezmann. With Hanker. Simeone infield to Koke. White coming across to try and cover Lippmann, who has support from Ruggieri. Lippmann infield to Julian Alvarez. Good ball. Griezmann. Simeone couldn't quite get up to it.
Yeah, really good defending there from Nketiah there. Nice little spell of possession from Atleti. Down the left side, then across to the right to Griezmann. That pass is a fraction big for Giuliano, but that's good defending.
This is Gabriel. Martinelli, then Atleti just not in trouble.
Yeah, Giuliano did well there. He really got to track that run of Martinelli. Marcus Llorente and Giuliano going to make sure that they stay with those runners. That was a clever ball from Odegaard, very nearly found the target.
Llorente at right back tonight. He's played in that defensive midfield position some of the season. Did so actually against Barcelona in the second leg of the quarter-final. Long intended for Lippmann, but finding only David Raya. season, of course, Arsenal, when they lost over 2 legs to Paris Saint-Germain. You learn from those experiences, don't you, I guess?
You do. You have to suffer a little bit. You certainly take it on board that little bit more. Arsenal is for a good few years.
Good possession here from Arsenal. Rice, Atletico. Again here for Arsenal to Odegaard.
Yeah, just gentle pressure from Atleti. No one really committing to too many challenges yet. They're just sitting in their block. Saying to Arsenal, what have we got? So Arsenal just trying to tease them and prize them out. Try and find a gap or two.
In front of it, that's inside to Odegaard. So tapping ball, which is headed away only as far as Nkapie. So nowhere really.
He dropped in a little bit short there. Because he was under pressure there, Johnny Cardoso, he couldn't really pick his head up and find the right pass. I think after that initial 2 or 3 minutes, Arsenal have had a decent amount of the ball and looking reasonably comfortable with it as they move forward.
Very well marshalled by Mark Kupia. He's Hanko. Rather perilous, but was retrieved. It's found its way through to Andre Griezmann, who's in the pass and has not been dealt with. Deflected, just struggling to get this away at the moment, Arsenal, as Koke finds Hanko.
Gabriel's given it away about 3 times.
Nerves?
Yeah, I'm under very little pressure. Just needs to let calm down a little bit.
Cardoso. Koke. Llorente. Neatly 1-2. Needs a throw in off Pirlo in Capia. Which Giuliano Simeone is going to take, approaching the quarter-hour mark.
So Johnny Cardoso has gone in towards that near post area.
In goes the throw-in, out it goes off the head of Gabriel. And given away to Martinelli. Martinelli's ball just has too much on it. The Ocros keeps up the chase with Llorente well ahead of it. Cardoso for Koke. We were talking about it pre-kickoff, weren't we, Andy? 734 games tonight for Atletico, Koke, their captain.
Extraordinary what a servant he's been.
It's Alvarez, brought it down neatly, stayed on his feet well. Tips it away for a corner kick, that's superb stuff.
Brilliant play. All round actually, lovely ball and the first touch and the control. And then the technique from Alvarez hits it beautifully, doesn't he? Down the right, flies to his left-hand side and gets a good hand on that one to knock it away. But really nice football all round. And Arsenal, I think, did exactly the right thing there. Gabriel got close, tried to deny him, but it was really good skill. They didn't want to touch him in the box.
Griezmann with this corner kick, and David Raya got something on it, under a little bit of pressure. It's come back to Antoine Griezmann. Inevitably, really led by the head of Gabriel. He misses so few, and now an opportunity for Arsenal to break with Gyökeres. Marcus Llorente
to Gyökeres, wasn't it? Powerful run. It looked like Llorente was going to get back at him, but he kept going, he kept powering on, got his body in, protected the ball, and cut it across beautifully. But Martin Odegaard just couldn't find a yard of space and was denied right at the end, but really good fast break, an encouraging break for Arsenal that.
I think it was Prubil who actually got the contact on it, two defenders lunging at it. Koke, Vigeri, Lipman. Prubil's forward ball, trying to find Giuliano Simeone, and the free kick is given as he bumped Nkapie to the ground.
There's that strike with the right foot from Odegaard.
It's Cardoso actually made the play.
Yeah, Cardoso and Prubil, as you say, both getting there. Then seconds before that from Alvarez that's worse, but it's a nice football there from both teams going forward.
Brutally winning out Atlanta, and Willie Lipman in a final which he will cherish for the rest of his career. He scored a hat-trick in the victory over Bayern Leverkusen. Competing for it. I think there was a push in there anyway, it would be counted. Made a very comfortable save.
High up the pitch there though, Nkapie. And that cross comes off the right hand side. He's there at the back post just to try and add some numbers in the box. Just a little nudge there from Victor Gyökeres, I think, on Llorente. Yeah, I'm afraid it is you.
They recruited so well in the summer, Arsenal, didn't they? Not just Nkapie and Mosquera, who have both been valuable Gyökeres up front, but also felt last season they were over-reliant maybe on Odegaard and Saka, and if they lost either or both, which at some point they did last season, they couldn't really cope. Now with Madueke coming in, with Eze coming in, yeah, they can take the pressure off those players. They deal with their absence much better.
Yeah, they do. You're right. And also got Trossard on the bench. One max down is emerging now, so terrific power, strength right through the team.
Saka amongst these substitutes today. He has had some injuries of late, as has Odegaard on the ball now, but he's fit again. Offside here, and it is. And White have gone a little bit too early.
Nice run from Ben White again. It's not really his strength, but he's got to try and do it again. Just to open up the picture for others in and around him to maybe receive the ball. Just showed a yard or two offside there. The tempo of this game is kind of what we expected. Both teams, when they accelerate, when they go through the gears, they look dangerous. And then there's that considered possession which slows the game down a little bit more.
Jan Oblak all the way through to David Raya.
Pulled back very quickly there. It's good play from Arsenal.
Zubimendi. Here. For Arsenal finding Martinelli. Zubimendi toward the back post. Madrid was arriving. The pressure is already in the face. I think it's going to be a kick to Arsenal.
Yeah, another good spell of possession for the visiting team there. Victor Gyökeres was taking a bang in the pace. They're comfortable in the game now, Arsenal. And plenty of possession. One or two really good moments. Now they've got to try and carve out a couple more.
It's the hand of his teammate, Madrid, actually, which did the damage, such as it is. The Arsenal corner, though, when we restart. No one in this season's Champions League has conceded more goals from corner kicks than Atletico Madrid. And I would hazard a guess that probably no one scored more goals from corner kicks than Arsenal.
Just about to say that, Steve, so maybe a genuine opportunity. As ever, you've got to get the delivery right. Without the correct delivery, none of it works. And usually Declan Rice is pretty reliable in that respect.
Approaching the midway point of this first half, and Gyökeres won't be allowed to play well. His lip or nose is bleeding.
It was a kind of looped ball, wasn't it, to the far post. You can see running that away here there. He's trying to attack that correctly, and he just catches his man in the face. He'll be alright. He'll be okay.
All the teeth are present and correct. This is Atleti's 7th European Cup or Champions League semi-final. Their first since losing to City neighbours Real Madrid 9 years ago. And they've got a corner kick to defend here. It's not Declan Rice taking it, it's Madrid. In the opposed crease went headed away. Arsenal are claiming vociferously, or at least Gabriel is claiming vociferously that he was fouled.
Poor delivery there. Didn't give anybody any realistic chance of making that all-important first contact. But you can see there that Gabriel's been protesting to the referee. Okay, certainly got on the bend on there, and then he puts the arm across to deny Gabriel. They've always been clever and cute, Atletico. The way that they defend and deny their opponents, as I mentioned earlier, there's lots of teams that try and do it and don't do it very well. This team know exactly how to do it.
It's a handball decision and a free kick to the home side. Atleti's number 19 has 19 goals this season, Julian Alvarez.
Certainly the last 15 minutes, I think Arsenal have pretty much lost it. Start with, as you would imagine, and they would have expected Arsenal. They did come out pretty quickly and sharp and tested them once or twice, but since then, I think the Arsenal players have been on the ball far more.
Slightly awkward for him, Gavin Bryant's clearance. He was a bit hurried as a result. Possession is won back by the home side.
Simeone and Lookman hold the width, and then they've got Cardoso and Koke in the middle of the park. Arsenal have got better numbers in there. They should be reasonably comfortable in possession. Odegaard, Zubimendi and Rice, as long as they make sure that they cover all the bases, they should get plenty of the ball, those three.
He's looking finding Griezmann. Johnny Cardoso on the left flank here. He is back into Griezmann. Okay. Not many one-club men around football these days, but he's one. Odegaard's clearance was picked up by Icardi. His head has gone out of play for a throw into Diego Simeone's team. Europa League winners under Simeone, Atletico. Rogeri made the challenge, he hasn't dispossessed Madrid. Together. That's really he's willing to carry himself so far, then but it's a good ball into Ademola Lookman. Harpo's continued his run. Griezmann, Lookman. Rogeri. Volleyed away by Saliba for Arsenal. Rogeri's cross. Alvarez!
Yeah, unlucky, one way up there. It's always going to take something very special off the head of Julian Alvarez there to beat David Wright. Decent ball in from Rogeri. Which they don't really have that really big, powerful centre forward. Only saw a lot when he comes on the bench. So most of the football is going to go into the feet of Griezmann and Alvarez.
Is such a great conductor still, isn't he?
He drops off the front and he picks it up on behind Declan Rice and Zubimendi, and he's always very clever. He's never rushed, he doesn't panic the pass, he takes his time with it. But when they cross it from those wide areas, it's going to have to be very good and very accurate, because Arsenal, obviously with Saliba and Gabriel, are always going to be favourites.
Hurried from Pubil, but goes header. Cardoso under some pressure.
shot by the way, hasn't he? He's picked it up right, but he's got to the byline. He's always trying to clip something into the box, and when he does this on his left foot, he's very dangerous. Really good play from him. Nice and positive. Took the strike quite early. That's really unlucky. It's coming back, and All Black isn't hanging around there. He's flying to his right-hand side to make sure he covers that post.
He got a lot of cover on that.
Did. Arsenal with a better team for 20 minutes here, and I think we're having good spells against top teams in Champions League football. You've got to make it work for you. You've got to create good chances.
Just missed the ball, but I'm sure he was behind it. So just past the half-hour mark, Atletico 0, Arsenal 0. First leg of the second of the two Champions League semi-finals for this year. Arteta gesticulating, applauding Gabriel as he nicks possession and finds Odegaard.
Sprinting back to get back into this solid shape. I think that's something Arsenal got to do. The quicker they do it, and if they are prepared to go a little longer, a little bit more direct, then I think that gives Martinelli a better chance.
This is Madrid cutting inside and held up by Lippman, finding Rice. Gabriel. Martinelli. Cappy is definitely onside. Martinelli came on and provided just a little bit of magic to provide the assist for the Kai Havertz goal late on in the Jose Alvarado in the first leg of the quarter-final against Sporting. It proved to be the winning goal. And Saliba has lost possession. This is Lookman. Alvarez and Griezmann with him. This is Antoine Griezmann. Giuliano Saliba. And the pass just one footy.
Just went wrong with the ball there, didn't he, William Saliba? Wasn't quite sure where he was going. Got his pocket pinched. Very quickly, Lookman and Co picked the ball up. I think Alvarez thought he might have run into an offside position. That's why he sort of gives that one up a little bit. That was a really nice strike from Atletico. 5 minutes ago. Left foot is curling always back towards that right hand post of All Black.
Too many players who've represented Tottenham, Chelsea and Arsenal in their careers, but Madueke is one of them. Never actually made it into Tottenham's first team, but he was a Tottenham kid. That's where he learned his trade. Gabriel, Rice, Martinelli, and Cappy. Semi-final might be decided by brilliance, and the feeling that this semi-final might be decided by resilience.
Good point, yeah. I think as we see there, the passes completed and the accuracy of those passes, Arsenal showed in it.
Not that these two aren't capable of brilliance.
Oh no,
They certainly are.
yeah.
Making the run, but this covered. Slightly off the mark. There's a shot on here which he took. It was blocked by Gabriel. Alvarez tried to win the ball when he was actually on the ground as fouled in Gabriel. He liked it.
Yeah, I think he liked the pressure. There was a pride on Odegaard in the middle of the park. Just here. It's better. Again. As soon as you turn the ball over from midfield players, then you've got to be looking to get your shots away. That's exactly what Alvarez tries to do. Capier and Gabriel in particular, they're doing really well to stand up, nice and big and strong to deny that shot.
Arsenal certainly have been more vulnerable in recent weeks than for some time. Just to give it some context, they were beaten twice in 46 matches, and in their subsequent 7 games, they've lost 4 times. Points forward, ball took a bit of deflection, Ruggieri, Gene Covers, and it really looking going straight to Martin Zubimendi, grown from the home fans, and White here. And Ruggieri concedes the throw in. Another one to join Atletico. Ruggieri, he joined a little earlier, the Italian left back. Martinelli, is it? Well, it's Stan, and it has gone out to play, but it looked like it was a completely hopeless ball to Martinelli, and then didn't work out quite right.
Strange ball actually coming Capier, that one, because he could have just rolled it to his feet. Could have just given it to him, he's trying to clip it up and play it in behind Simeone. Didn't need to do that. I think Arsenal, again, I mentioned earlier about the fact that they 3 on 2 in the middle of the park, and I think the way that they're knocking it about that shows, just need to make more of it.
Lemmer decided not to play it early into Griezmann. Gets it wide to Koke, Koke plays it off to Capier, and Atleti have a throw in. Simeone. Griezmann dispossessed by Odegaard. That's well worked, Zubimendi into Martin Odegaard, and here is Victor Gyökeres.
Again, I think Atleti just overplaying there because they don't have the height and the presence in the box from those wide areas, so they're looking for that perfect pass into Griezmann or Alvarez's feet and try and get a shot away that way, but sometimes, you know, still want to go in the box, even if Arsenal have got Silva and Gabriel there. Put it in there.
Martinelli, you're in 10. especially when you think about the whip shot that was just wide, and the little run and ball to the back post early on in the game, which Nkapie was maybe impeded by Martinelli slightly. 5 minutes of this first half to go. Very quickly into that challenge. Hanko spotted the danger early. This is put swiftly and accurately by Antoine Griezmann away to Giuliano Simeone. Griezmann wants the return.
I think Simeone should have done more there. I think that was a particularly good cross. And in the end, it bounced back to Alvarez, who was denied, but got to try and make more of that, the home team. I think when they do break out and getting in those wide areas, Simeone looked for the quick to try and make something happen.
Looking at it, went over the top of Atletico. This is straight to Zubimendi. This is early to Zubimendi.
Yeah, that's that challenge from the wrong side. You're always in trouble as a defender in modern day football now. If you try and challenge someone from the wrong side, he's got his hands in it. He's trying to disturb him because he thinks Yoko is going to get the shot away. But when you nudge someone from the wrong side, as he does there, doesn't matter how much contact there is really, there's no way I can't see that being overtaken. That is a penalty. You always run the risk of invited the challenge, down he goes. He gets the penalty. What a chance this is, right at half-time virtually, for Arsenal to get the lead.
Just 90 seconds of normal time to go in this first half. The 3 penalty kicks he's taken so far this season. He faces Jan Oblak.
Great penalty. Nice and positive, everything you want that. Nice and confident and just move towards the ball nice and really, there's that challenge for the can't do that. You just can't touch people if you are not the right side. It's going to swing down or it's actually almost died beyond it. Yeah, it was a good height for him, but very firmly hit. That's a big moment in the tie-up, huge moment.
So Arsenal strike first. In response, they can talk about it in the dressing room shortly, because half-time is only a matter of moments away. But they trail here, a minimum of 2 added minutes as they work it right to Lookman. Ademola Lookman getting inside. Julian Alvarez. goes Lukman's header. Goal kick Arsenal.
I think Lukman and Simeone have got to look to take their fullbacks on and get round the back of them. For the likes of Griezmann and Alvarez to try and find a yard as we see the penalty again. Look at that, right between the goalkeeper's hands. Don't see that too often, no. But I do think Atletico need to get in behind Arsenal. Everything they're doing is in front of them. That penalty as the Arsenal fans celebrate because that's the value for their lead. I really do. First 10 minutes was one or two moments there to be careful, but I think after that, I think Zubimendi, Rice and Odegaard have seen more of the ball and they've gradually got themselves into it. I think Madueke's always been a threat. And that's a real lift for them going into the break.
It's Griezmann, but Gavin Dyer read it really well. Saliba happy to see him take charge.
Just rolled it straight to Nkapie's feet. The left back is always willing to go and join in for Arsenal.
In the first right, Danny Makkeli.
This match was
di bangku cadangan yang bisa justru malah ada Saka dan juga ada Gabriel Jesus juga kan yang disiapkan untuk lini serang, ada Trossard juga, ada Calafiori. Ini menantang skuad yang sangat mewah ya Arsenal dari kedalaman ini. Ya, sementara ini dia pemirsa performa sudah keluar tentunya dari locker room dan ini tadi kita bilang bahwa salah satu pelatih termahal di dunia dan gaji yang luar biasa dan satu-satunya masih bertahan dari era sebelumnya ada Pep, ada Mourinho ya, dia doang yang masih terus bertahan di Atletico gitu kan. Dan sekarang bahkan anaknya juga sudah menjadi bagian dari tim ini. Teruskan dari kesini ya. Sementara pemirsa kita langsung saja kembali tentunya ke Estadio Metropolitano. Pertandingan di babak kedua akan semakin seru, semakin menarik untuk kita saksikan. Dan kembali dari sini akan mengucapkan selamat menyaksikan.
This match is brought to you by Pepsi, UEFA Champions League official partner.
This slender aggregate advantage. And Andy, over the course of that first 45 minutes, I think Arsenal will feel they were decent.
I agree. I think they've better possession, took better care of it. And I think we were more likely in the final third. I think that Atleti have been a little bit short as they push forward. I don't think they've got enough out there to wide boys. So no surprises maybe here that there's a change for Diego Simeone.
Well, Robin Norman is coming on for Giuliano Simeone, which is an interesting one. The French ball Spanish international central
Marcus Llorente can now push forwards here. Further forward.
And Llorente has scored 4 goals in the Champions League this season. So it's Arsenal who get the second period underway. They are kicking from left to right, leading by a goal to nil.
Looks like they've even got 3 at the back here, Athletic.
Yeah.
Norman has gone in there with Manuel.
So now Llorente and Ruggeri as wing-backs, don't we?
Yes.
That was just a penalty area.
Just about, wasn't it? It also means they can have that extra body a little bit narrower in midfield to be a little more competitive. So I actually think that will certainly help Simeone's team try and wrestle a little bit more possession. They've got to do that.
That's come off the back of Ademola Lookman's head. Arsenal have a throw in. There is a substitute, no one with the forward ball to Llorente, Griezmann, Martinelli for Arsenal.
You've got to have an impact on the game as well, Antoine Griezmann. We spoke about how clever he can be and how important he is when he gets off the front line and picks up clever little positions, but he's just been flitting in and out of the game so far, really.
With the clearance, super in for Arsenal. Gabriel. Not easy to score against Arsenal. Sporting couldn't do it in 2 legs of the quarter-final. David Ryan's clearance was not the best, but Koke's header went straight to Rice. Here's Griezmann. Well, came back and made the challenge, and sometimes you don't want your centre forward getting involved in situations like that. It's a free kick.
He's not happy there, is he, Gyökeres, although it was a little clumsy. Again, he's trying to pinch the ball. He feels it was a decent shoulder charge. I think it's probably just a foul. It's not shoulder to shoulder. He kind of just barges a little bit. As soon as Cardoso goes down, and they risk of getting the free kick. So it's little moments like that. They also have to keep their discipline, make sure that they don't offer this team any easy, cheap way back into the game.
Alvarez and Griezmann over it. David Raya just double-checking his angles. 3-man Arsenal wall. It is Alvarez. Oh, that was not very far away.
Shape on that free kick was perfect, wasn't it? He's hit that so beautifully, and you can tell that David Raya's really got a motor to his left-hand side to get anything on this. Oh dear, that's not too far away at all. Good pacey hit with the necessary dip on it.
It's a very fine effort indeed. David Raya was not stretching for nothing. He thought that stood a chance. Does go back to Oblak. Little flick on from Declan Rice. Koke tidying up. Just as Lookman was accelerating away, Danny Napoli has given it to handball. Diego Simeone is hugely frustrated here. Llorente putting in Capio under some pressure.
Yeah, that's good decision, David Raya. Just put your foot through it. Don't take any risk by trying to pick it up or anything like that.
Very tense Arsenal, and they really are in a hole. Griezmann found a clever little header into the run of Alvarez. Now Lemar! Straight into the ground. Griezmann! So easily been one each.
Oh, goodness, yes, I think it's an incredible double save in the end. Gabriel gets dragged out of that central position. Clever play from Alvarez to Lookman. There's the first stop. And then Griezmann half-hearted with that one. Then runs shot. It's actually a block.
Yeah, Gabriel.
It's Gabriel. Really good stop, that one. Right at the goalkeeper. Gabriel doing some excellent defending to get his body in the way.
The corner kick for Atletico is deep and is headed behind for another.
His arm there. I've seen them given.
Yeah, especially when it's on target.
I mean, exactly, the shot's on target. I know that he doesn't offer his arm to the ball. It's tucked in and he holds it there, but nonetheless.
Griezmann with this corner kick on Llorente. It's hit the volley. They're claiming handball here. They're insisting on handball here.
Yeah, and the referee's saying, we'll check it.
Well, Llorente didn't hit it particularly sweetly, but what did it hit then? That's the big question.
And on the back of the Gabriel one, let's have another look. Did he hit his shin? Does it come off his shin?
Onto his wrist.
I mean, if it hits your shin and then onto your wrist, it shouldn't be given, but we saw that last time.
This will be checked by Dennis Hickler, the video assistant referee. Llorente's shot deflecting, and he's going to go and have a look at this. Well, you think this is going to be given. The hand is away from the body. There might be a little touch, but there's also a little movement of that left hand towards the ball from Ben White.
There is.
He moves his hand to the ball, I think.
He does. No, he does. I don't see that much contact off the leg there. He's going to give this.
It's a penalty kick. It's a penalty kick. Well, this is going to be absolutely huge. Victor Gyökeres scored his penalty just before half-time.
And again, because it's right on the back of the incident just before it with Gabriel, that applies more pressure to the officials. And I think that one was always going to be given there, yeah. It looked like it just struck his shin a little bit before it hit his hand, but maybe it didn't. Not conclusive that from the angles we've just seen.
Not going to be an Alvarez penalty with the double touch, which the rules were changed.
They were.
Well, steps. The Atletico Madrid striker, Julian Alvarez, facing David Raya. This is a massive moment in the tie. Alvarez, 4 successful penalties from 5 taken this season. This to level it up. It's 1-1. That wasn't a penalty, it was a catapult.
Yeah, great strike, wasn't it? Hard and fast and high and very accurate. David Raya never moved because it simply flashed past him straight to the back of the net. And I think the change they've made with the shape of the team has made a huge difference by playing Griezmann now just in front of Johnny Cardoso and Koke. I think they look a lot better where they're trying to handle Arsenal, and they're right back in the game now. Great strike this. Look at that.
Well, it's past David Raya before he can play that ball thing. Atletico Madrid 1, Arsenal 1. A penalty apiece. He joins Kvaratskhelia and Anthony Gordon of Newcastle, who are out of the competition, of course, now on 10 goals in the Champions League this season. And Harry Kane and Kylian Mbappe have scored more. And Odegaard is coming off, and Eberechi Eze is coming on for Arsenal.
He was busy in the first half, wasn't he, Martin Odegaard? But again, like a lot of his teammates, since we've got going for the second period, just haven't been able to get on the ball as much. So that's a play. The Arsenal, they've got to recover.
So 1-1. Llorente's forward ball to Antoine Griezmann. Saliba looking like he has it covered, but he knew that it was Alvarez behind him. And he hasn't taken any chances. Safety first. Throw in Atletico. Fascinating again now.
Yeah, it is. It is, because they all apply pressure. And will apply pressure to the officials. Every little decision. And they've got the wind in their sails at the moment, the home team.
Griezmann. Llorente. Holding up in Capia and finding Alvarez. Antoine Griezmann. Julian Alvarez. Matteo Ruggeri finding Lukman. Alvarez. Saliba away. Lucas beating has had a foul. Referee says it is. Martinelli was the man who went to ground for Arsenal. And Pudil was the man who put him there.
Yeah, but they're closer and they're tighter and they're hungrier now, Atleti, to make those challenges and get after Arsenal. They spent a lot of the first half sitting in a shape and trying to block Mikel Arteta's team really from finding a way forward. Now they're pressing, now they're really squeezing. And they want to stay on the front foot. There we go.
That's what pressure does.
Yeah, just forces mistakes and Declan Rice, unusually for him, just a careless pass. So Arsenal have got to find ways to combat this, weather it.
Llorente. Just speaking to everyone looking at the referee, expecting him to award a free kick. Even the Arsenal players are waiting for the whistle there. Cardoso's done well. Lukman. Alvarez. Referee plays it on until he has the ball. Alvarez is not in a hurry to get up, however, holding his left shin. And his teammates don't want the advantage that the referee is giving them. That's a painful kick on the shin. Right on the knee, actually.
Yeah. It's not studs, it's the top of the boot. In fairness, it's Declan Rice, but he is late on that one. His penalty was perfectly hit, wasn't it? It was confidently dispatched into the back of the net. That look, just still trying to get himself in a position to make a move, and it's just flashed past him.
Well, Atleti have played in European semi-finals against English clubs on 3 previous occasions in the various competitions, and they've won them all, beating Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal as it happens in the Europa League back in 2018. to Diego Simeone, when he already had given credit to Diego Simeone, his vast experience to make that tactical change, which has impacted on the game. As Lookman finds Ruggieri. And here's Adamola Lookman. And Ruggieri. Griezmann wide of the post. Corner.
Great play from Atletico. It's brilliant pressure that they're now applying, and the questions they're asking Arsenal, who are on the back foot and they're rocking and they're digging very deep to hang in there at this moment. That looping effort from Griezmann as he's leaning backwards, very nearly sneaking in under the bar. David Raya wouldn't have got it. And the second one that came back to him on the ball, he struck it beautifully.
These are hard moments for Arsenal. And big moments in the first leg of this semi-final. Julian Alvarez, who scored the equaliser, is going to take the corner. Toward the near post, it's put behind by Declan Rice, and they'll have another. Tipped over by David Raya. There'll be a third corner.
Do you know, you almost went to that, Griezmann. I beg your pardon, Alvarez. Such a great strike. Look at that. I think David Raya was sort of just trying to pinch a yard or two. And in the end, he's able to scramble back and make sure he gets something on that to tip it over.
Huge area of expectancy at the moment around this stadium. It's Griezmann with the corner kick. Headed away by Gyökeres. Llorente. Griezmann. So many bodies in there. It's Lookman. It's wild.
That's a chance. That's a chance. Just target. But it's a lot more like the Atletico Madrid that the home fans were expecting to see. What we've got now. Chalk and cheese compared to where they were first half. They're just on the edges of it now. They're bossing. That second strike, which was that was the first one, they hit the bar. So close.
By Zubimendi, Atleti are on top at the moment.
Some shifts in these big Champions League matches, you know, when you have it, and with the quality players that both these teams possess, they look so different.
There might have been a header, as in with a little chest tap. That might be his first touch since he came on. It's going to be an Arsenal throw-in. We've played almost 21 minutes of the second half. Utterly absorbing contest. Gabriel. Very nearly give it to Llorente. Gabriel Martinelli here.
Again, great appetite. From Atleti there to just apply pressure and turn the ball back over.
That's clearance directed toward Gabriel Martinelli. To Gyökeres, has drifted out wide. Zubimendi with a push to Eze for one way kick. Declan Rice is taking the armband from Odegaard. As you can see, there are a whole host of Arsenal substitutes ready to come back. I'll talk you through that in a moment. They are Saka and Trossard and Gabriel Jesus, who are going to be coming on shortly. So 3 in 1 from Arteta. That tells you that he feels this game is in danger of getting away from him.
Well, they've got 3 good attack-minded players.
Here we go, Martinelli is going to be replaced by Leandro Trossard. You would imagine it would be the front 3, Maguire and Gyökeres, who come off. Indeed it is. Gabriel Jesus comes on for Victor Gyökeres and Bukayo Saka for Noni Madueke. All change up front.
I think that's mainly because obviously he wants to make sure that there's still plenty of energy in the forward positions, but because Arsenal are defending, when you have to clear your lines, you need fresh legs up there to hang on to it and fight for it. And trying to help you get that back 4 out of your 18-yard box and up the pitch.
And it just illustrates what brilliant options Mikel Arteta has actually. Havertz isn't even involved, he's injured.
Correct. And experienced boys as well, Steve, which is crucial in nights like this and matches such as this one.
Takes the ball. It's Athletic. It's Griezmann. Kept away from Lookman by Saliba.
Fortunately there, Leandro Trossard, he really is. Do not lose the ball there in the middle of the park and allow a team to break on you.
Griezmann didn't quite have that under control. It ricocheted off his right knee. Saka.
That's well played.
Gabriel Jesus forward to Bukayo Saka. And he could also here. Alvarez. To give Hanko. Eze took it away from Alvarez. Who took it. There's nothing to choose between the two sides. I'm just looking at the statistics, those passes attempted and completed, almost identical. Possession at the moment, 50-50 to score 1-1. Lookman, Alvarez. Normal. Hanko, Ruggieri. Koke for Atletico.
Better shape, haven't they? It's worked really well with Simeone's change at half-time. It looked like something needed to happen as they weren't really having much of an effect going forward, but absolutely the right tactic to go 3 at the back, get those wing-backs going a little bit and let Griezmann just float around everywhere. Look, here he is again. He's been so much more involved in the game, second period, as opposed to being just on the edges, drifting in and out, during the first half.
And since they equalised 15-16 minutes ago, much of the game has seen Atleti with the ball at their feet, often inside Arsenal's half of the field. And Gabriel has to clear it out, a playful throw into the home side.
Well, Gabriel said he thought he'd come off of Griezmann. He hasn't got the decision. Forget about it, move on. It's Arsenal's turn now, look, just to sit and wait and try and stay as solid and as compact as they can.
Alvarez, who has Llorente to his right-hand side. Llorente now running at Gabriel. That's a huge save.
What a stop. It's brilliant play from Ademola Lookman to step inside the right area and take control of that situation. What a chance.
There's a foul by Eze, but play on. The cross comes in and right coaches. Well, he's made some big saves in the Champions League this season, David Raya, and that's right up there with the lights.
Certainly was. What a chance. Just couldn't get it out his feet enough, I don't think, but excellent work from David Raya.
Hanko here. Alvarez is just now picking himself up, as you can see. He's in an offside position at the moment. And Atleti have just pressed the metaphorical pause button to give Alvarez a moment. Isn't it amazing how one little tweak, one little change, just one different bit of personnel can swing the balance? It certainly has. That's a good ball into Lookman from Ruggieri. Lookman stumbles over, doesn't appeal.
It's a good run, actually, good movement from Lookman to just give himself the space initially, but the rest is put it.
That would be a free kick, fouled by Mark Pubil. And Leandro Trossard.
Here we go. Here's that ball from Llorente. Look at the way he just pinches it there. Lookman. And then he kind of has to dig it out, doesn't he, on that left foot, that shot. It's kind of underneath him. And sometimes they can be open for goalies when they're right at them. But yeah, he knew it was a great situation. He needed that one to go in the back of the net, but David Raya very quickly just adjust his body position, makes a good stop.
Alvarez has a real problem here. He's gone down. Play goes on. Saka for Arsenal. No obligation to stop the game. Declan Rice. Bukayo Saka. But I don't think that situation is going to continue for very long, and Alex Baena is going to be coming on shortly. That's what happened. Yeah, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, he just got his foot trapped underneath Eze there. Well, yeah, 1 or 2 strikes from the edge of the box in the first half, didn't he, Alvarez? And second half, I think with his team very much on the front foot, a lot more involved, great penalty. I'm sure that's not a serious one, I think, that's all the look says. It's more precautionary, but good night's work in the end from the centre forward.
So 13 to play. Alvarez is off. Alex Baena is off. on for what remains. Cross on for Declan Rice. As they went down, referee- Big call. Big call from the referee. That's a huge group. It really is. Ladies and gentlemen, Danny Buckley pointing to committed the foul for the first penalty in the first half. There will be a check, obviously. Dennis Hickler, for the third time, will be looking at the award of a penalty.
Certainly it looks like as they get there first, but I mean, it's the nearest to contact. I think those sort of penalties are very soft. I really do. I don't think they should be penalties, those. I'm sorry, I just don't see that genuine contact there. It's a tap on the foot, that's all it is. But when you slow it down and you watch it on a monitor, then they always tend to get given.
Penalty, we're waiting for confirmation of what Dennis Hickler says to video assistant referee. He's speaking now to Danny Buckley. Diego Simeone said check it. It's been checked. Question is, what is the verdict?
There's a long deliberation between Danny Buckley and the guys controlling the VAR.
It is, isn't it? Jokic, who took the first penalty and scored it, has left the field of play.
Yes, there's contact. But it's minimal. It's such minimal because it's a grazing of one ball on another. As he's going to go down, he ends up throwing himself to the floor. That look, almost throwing his own legs into Hanko. I just don't see those as penalties. I don't get it. But massive call this.
Well, clearly, Danny Buckley is giving himself all the time he needs, and rightly so, to make the decision. You can only assume that the recommendation from the VAR is that it should not be a penalty, otherwise he wouldn't go to look at it again. Well, no penalty.
How we're going to restart the game, the players there.
And also maybe one thing about the Hanko yellow card. I think Diego Simeone would like to be
Oh, I see.
told that that's going to be rescinded.
Yes, and you would have thought he would be. He should be. Yeah, that's what he's saying, yeah. Always disappointing, I get it when these big calls like that go against you. And I genuinely didn't feel that one. There was enough contact to warrant a penalty given.
It's a huge, it's a head, isn't it? Keep saying it's a huge this, it's a huge that, but it's a semi-final of the Champions League. Everything's huge.
In a tight game like this.
It's not like the game last night we thought, oh, never mind. be another goal along in a minute. Zubimendi to Leandro Trossard. Nkapie. Gabriel. Declan Rice. Gabriel. Rice floating it out towards Saka, a little bit too high for Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, not had a chance yet. Bukayo Saka really need to get the ball down and run with it and take people on.
And the yellow card stands, clearly. Reina chasing that. Talus's head up right there for Arsenal. It's a very strong challenge by Ruggeri on Bukayo Saka. Leandro Trossard for Arsenal. Rice. That's given away by Ben White to that slip from Johnny Cardoso. Inside Ben White here for Arsenal, looking for Eze. The turn, it's a really good work by Mark Pubian. Dancing taken away from him. Griezmann is fouled. Advantage is played. This is a scampering run on the ball, which I don't think Liverpool's ever going to beat Saliba to.
He did really well, didn't he? Anticipating exactly where that was going to go there, William Saliba knocked that up perfectly. Arsenal got a spell now for them. Probably their best period in the second half.
Christian Mosquera is going to be coming on shortly. Spanish player, of course. Signed by Arsenal from Valencia.
Ben White, right-hand side of the screen. You can see now Arsenal pushing their players forward as much as they possibly can to try and drag Atleti backwards.
It's Rice. Nkapie. Good challenge. Pubian starting game off. The Arsenal man with throw has been given to the visitors here. And here comes the Arsenal change. Ben White makes way. Mosquera comes on. Of normal time to go. And Atletico also preparing a change. Manuel Molina is going to be on shortly. Here's Declan Rice. Zubimendi, Mosquera. Saka with the header. Now by Johnny Cardoso, Littman being in the air. Mosquera, Zubimendi. Good pressure, Arsenal. Saka's done well, but away from Ruggeri.
Just overhit that, didn't he? Bukayo Saka skipped past Ruggeri very easily. Now home team who look like they're hanging on. As Arsenal push to try and see if they can grab the lead once more.
And they'll be pleased and ready to get this free kick, and change is coming with Nahuel Molina coming on. This was Mosquera straight into the action.
Yeah, it was always that when they're black and white in, wasn't it? Better than that one over the bar, but good position that Christian Mosquera found himself in.
Still cover, so as the man who comes off. Molina is on. Very much hope that Alvarez is okay for the second leg next week.
Absolutely be desperate that he's okay.
Zubimendi, Eze bringing it down, getting away from Marcus Llorente. It's a lovely little turn that way. Koke trying to drag it back as it goes on. Trossard. Always knew it was heading wide. There was a slight optical illusion there, wasn't there? I thought it was rolling in there rather than behind it.
He strikes such a good ball, doesn't he, Declan Rice? But that one's not got enough power anyway. It's not beating him on that one. And in fairness to Arsenal, they were really on the back foot, weren't they, at the start of the second half? And once Julian Alvarez took that penalty away, it looked like it might be tough for them, but they've not been able to come through it, and they're finishing the game stronger.
And here's Gabriel Jesus. And Zubimendi. In cap here. Some lengthy VAR checks in the second half. We may have a good old chunk beyond the 90. There we are, 7. Not surprised. Saka's pass wasn't intended for Eze, but that's where it's ended up, and it might work out for Arsenal. He's found Zubimendi. Right across.
Good ball.
Rice with a shot charged down by Lukman. Training here. It's still going.
It's good skill.
Difficult to say who's happier if it does hit 1-1.
I think for Mikel Arteta, look, to come out of here and the game is level, going back to London next week, I think he's got to be very content with that. And they had to back away, they had to tough it out for a spell, second half Arsenal, and they've done that. And I think Diego Simeone, his team to start with, didn't really carry enough of a threat. The shape of it was allowing Arsenal to boss proceedings, and he very cleverly and wisely changed it at half-time, and I think he'll be reasonably content that they didn't get beat tonight. But there's still a bit of time yet.
Yeah, Trossard. What easily said, Andy. What can happen in 5.25 minutes? Arsenal will rue the reverse of that penalty award. Atletico will think about the Griezmann effort which hit the bar. The big Lukman chance saved by David Raya. Eze. Good challenge, and it did go out to play it off Saka. That's good challenge by Ruggieri. When you think about it in the scheme of European football, and clubs who have never been European champions, these are two of the biggest, aren't they? Atleti and Arsenal.
Certainly are. Oh, they really are. Yeah.
Griezmann is one last opportunity to open up here for the home side. Pubil's ball into the box. Baena just overlooked when hooked away by Nkapie. Didn't need to get away actually. That Maguire was about to collect.
Lovely flighted deep ball to that far post, but Baena nodded it back across and just thought it was a little deep for Ademola Lookman.
And he's trying to get in behind Mosquera, and Mosquera very happy that Saliba read that as early as he did. It's been dispossessed by Hanko. David Hanko. Oh, what a strike down is by Pubil. He wants a corner. It's a brilliant strike. It's actually Eduardo Molina who's hit it. He's hit it absolutely brilliant.
Oh, he's crushed it, hasn't he? Really has. Obviously, he wants a corner because they're a little deflection off of David Raya. Might see better from this angle. It could have been, again. That's a beautiful hit, it really is. Almost rising probably over the bar.
Forward ball, Griezmann. Ruggieri rather sold himself there, but kind of Saka has it. Llorente back helping out, protected infield to Eza, onto Trossard. Nkapie falling, his touch, Trossard's hit. Pierre Nkapie, and well shielded by Mark Pubil so that Yano Black can drop on it.
Nkapie has been flying forward at every opportunity. Just couldn't get on the end of that one and make something happen there. Looks like the pace and the skill and just the sheer quality of the game was breathtaking, but in its own way, this has also been quite absorbing. Very different, not at that level last night, but everybody giving everything to ensure that they don't get beat in this game.
Declan Rice here for Arsenal, heartbreaking for the two. You can see that this very, very late stage, but it means that won't happen. Llorente, Pubil. Contact from Trossard after the ball had gone, free kick. Into the last of the 7 minutes. Jesus going to ground, and the referee Madrid has awarded the free kick. Is there time for one last opportunity for this Arsenal free kick? No, there isn't. The referee Danny Mackley blows his whistle in all square after the first leg of this semi-final. Atleti won.
This match was brought to you by